Man, getting into my little corner, I'm going to have to take care of this thing right here and move it over. Because it's just not working. Maybe that's a project for today. I think maybe I'll apply myself to moving this filing cabinet over some, so I can kind of develop my stage, so to speak. It's not really a stage, it's just up against the wall. It makes a nice venue because I can't sit outside really and get the right light. So we have lights here to help us to see from the night to the day, to help us to prepare ourselves for this day that the Lord has made, to rejoice and be glad in it, to maybe change your attitude by gratitude, kind of like taking it to the Lord in prayer, so that we can take our day and leave it in God's hands and leave it there. Because every one of us have the opportunity to be blessed or to be at rest. You can get up and run out the door, going your way any way you want to. Any purpose, design, or choice you've made, you can go ahead and do, and you might get through it. Let me know how that works out for you. Hey, I got a better way. Paul said I have a more excellent way. As a matter of fact, I got a way that, I've tried the other way. I've tried that way. I've tried your way. Nah, I think I'll try his way. Because you know what? When it comes to God, there's only one way. And that way is Jesus. And what Jesus did every day was to spend some time with his Father. To kind of get a little bit of a reality check. Like Newsboys, I think it's Newsboys, or maybe it's the other guys. Can't think of who. Singing reality check, or reality. Because the reality of our life isn't what you can see, although you may think so. It isn't what you can taste, although with my little protein drink here, just not the same without a blender. But you use what you got in your hand, so there it is. Yum, yum, yum. Strawberry. But reality check is knowing that there's more to life than what we can see. There's more to your day than what you're going to face in going about your way. God said, I have a plan and a purpose and a design for the universe. Now, you don't have to go verse by verse, to figure that one out. That I created the heavens and the earth. That I made it, in my own image, that I've created all things, and by all things do they have their being. You don't have to go verse by verse to learn that. You could find yourself, instead, under the curse where you can't see, you can't hear, and you can't know what I got planned. So go. Do what you want to do. And God lets you. Because according to his grace, according to his mercy, there is a better way. There's a way you could dance through life. You could be Lord of the Dance. You could be in romance with God every day of your life. You could have rings on your fingers and bells on your toes, so to speak. But you could hear the music of heaven ringing everywhere you go. You could hear God speaking to you if you want to know. But you have to go, not what you do, but what he wants to tell you. You go through this life, and you can experience it one way or another. You can do it your way, and maybe that'll work out for you. You could do it kind of like limping along, and kind of going, well, I'm just going to do my religious thing. You'll make it probably, you might enter the celestial kingdom, like Pilgrim's Progress says, and you'll have gotten there. Oh, I did it. Man, I was tough. I was rough.
I had my guns, I had my exercise, I had my violence, I was teaching and preaching, I was doing all these things, and then, where's my reward? And you get a penny, and you go, that's all I got? Wow. Or you could be kind of like me, it's kind of like, dude, check it, man. I'm living it. I'm enjoying it. It's like, wow, I'm blessed because I know where I put my rest. And my rest is in Him. I don't rest from the labor that He gives me to do. I don't rest from the things that He wants me to do. I commit my way unto Him so He can see me through. Because unless He sees me through, I don't want to do anything I do. Because if I do what I want to do, then I make doo-doo out of what He may want me to go through instead of what I want to do. So today, you should choose you this day whom you will serve. Whether you choose to serve the gods of men, going about your way, and I hope it works out for you by the end of the day. Or you could choose to serve the Lord your God by seeking Him today and following in His will and His way and enjoying and rejoicing in the day the Lord has made. Because He's got a word for you. He's got something He wants to tell you. He's got direct communication with you this day so that you can know that you're in the way of His will, through His will, knowing Him in a personal and intimate way. O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man to direct his steps. And that's from Jeremiah 10:23. And if you think about that, whoa, it's not in man to direct his steps. I think I know another scripture that says the footsteps of a righteous man are ordered, directed, inspired, chosen, and placed by the Lord. Whoa! My footsteps. They're not like footsteps in the sand that are being washed away by, the waves and the things of man and the circumstance. No. Matter of fact, my footsteps, I want to be directly ordered by the Lord so that every place I put my feet is holy ground because God sent me there. I know that I'm doing His will because God sent me there. I know that I'm according to His mercy and grace operating but with thanksgiving throughout my day because God sent me there. So Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man to direct his steps. So you, O Lord, lead me in the way you want me to go. We were at the foot of Mount Blanc in the village of Chamonix. Chamonix, I know this place. A sad thing had happened the day before of Mount Blanc. A young physician had determined to reach the heights. He accomplished the feat, and the little village was illuminated in his honor. On the mountainside, a flag was floating that told of his great victory. After he had ascended and descended as far as the hut, he wanted to be released from the guide. He wanted to be free from the rope and insisted on going on alone. The guide remonstrated with him and argued and debated, and telling him it was not safe. But he was tired of the rope and declared that he would be free. The guide was compelled to yield. The young man had gone only a short distance when his feet slipped in the ice, and he would not stop himself from sliding down the icy steeps. The rope was gone, so the guide could not hold him nor pull him back. Out on the shelving ice lay the body of the great young physician. The bells had been rung, the village had been illumined in the honor of his success, but alas, in a fatal moment, one moment, he refused to be guided. He was tired of the rope. It was, after all, just a crutch. Do not get tired of the rope. God's providences hold us, restrain us, and though we get tired sometimes, they are meant for us. Never get disengaged from your guide. Let your prayer be, Lord, lead me on, and sometimes the bells of heaven will ring that you are safe at home. In those days, what they used to do is that, when you climb the mountains, especially at Mount Blanc, and it's over in France, and over in Europe, that once they saw, wow, look, he made it. He's got a flag up there. He posted his flag so it could be seen. That's really why they posted flags, by the way. They didn't conquer it. It was just, you could see it waving in the wind because, the man was kind of phased into the mountain. But you see the flag and oh, okay.
And so the bells would ring, the church bells would go off. Wow, another conqueror. They've climbed the mountaintops. They've reached the peaks. They have ascended to the place where God is. And they have reached out and touched the face of God, as that one poem says. But unfortunately, the man, after having done the will of God, had need of patience that after having done the will, that he might receive the promise. He didn't. Because he didn't follow through with what God told him to do. Wait on him. You may need at times, some days, to wait on the Lord to hear his voice. You might need to be still to listen. You might have to make less haste and make less waste of your day if you would just wait on the Lord and listen to what he has to say. Because we all think we know what we're doing. But the way of man is not in himself. The way of man is not of himself. The gods of men are out there to influence ourselves in a way that won't work or prosper us in the way that God can bless us. So today, stop what you're doing. Reevaluate whether you started your day, you're going your day through the way that Jesus wants you to do. Seek to know the Lord your God today and make sure that you've committed your way unto him so that you can rest in whatever happens. The circumstances of your life are called the providences of God. God's providence means that he provides the circumstance, the way, the will, the spirit, the ability, and the covering, and the protection. So you won't need a gun. You won't need the police. You won't need an army. You won't need a chariot. You won't need to go to Egypt, for your protection. God's providence provides. God abides with those who he provides. And so what he does is that he lives in you. So if he is with you, then who can be against you? So you see, every day, take the time to pray. But more than just pray, take the time to listen. And today, seek to walk in his way. Seek to know his will. Make sure you're doing what he tells you to do and not just going about the way you're going. Because you may find that, God will give you enough rope, maybe even to hang yourself. Or you may find out you let go of the rope and God's got the other end.